Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel for MLB The Show 20. Since my last video, as you can see, I made it to World Series for the first time this season, obviously. I've been there the last 2 years before this. Haven't been able to consistently stay there, but this year I'm feeling like I actually belong in the top division. And I know I promised in my last video to get you some online hitting tips, but I thought it would be more important to just give ranked seasons tips overall, because I learned that it's not just hitting that's going to get me there, and it certainly wasn't. I had to learn how to pitch. I had to learn strategy, and just wanted to share some of my tips on how to get there. Alright, so to start out, I'll go into a custom practice. If not many of you may know it's there. A lot of YouTubers will tell you to use custom practice. I use it from time to time, but I'm just going to use it right now to show you some things that I do. Alright, so as you can see now, we are in custom practice mode. I'm going to go to hitting first. I'm not going to repeat the play. I'm going to put the count, no balls, no strikes. You can, if you want to force a strike, essentially, you can go 3 balls, no strikes. I'm going to go to Osuna, because I think they have Verlander not on the current roster because he's hurt. So I'm going to keep it at that, and so I will now be hitting, and I'll show you. So I have my hitting difficulty on Legend, which is the hardest one to go on, because as you get up in the ranked seasons tiers, it gets harder and harder, the difficulty. I believe you end up on Hall of Fame. So when you get to either Division Series or Championship Series, hitting gets harder, pitching gets harder, everything gets harder. And that's where the real players come out. And some things that I've learned along the way, especially on harder difficulties, everything that I mentioned in my last video, patience, yes, no, hit the mistake, all that, it still applies. But especially online, and you can practice this offline as well, is watch the ball out of the pitcher's hand. Find where his release point is, stare that ball out of his hand, and you will have some success online, even offline. It's all a matter of knowing what a strike is going to look like. I always keep my PCI moving before the pitch. It helps just to keep your trigger finger ready, always ready, and watching the ball of the pitcher's hand. Practice on this pitch, release point inside. After doing this for so long, I played this game for so long, you start to learn what a strike's going to be. And Legend, I don't have the timing down really yet. I play it harder so that when it comes to Hall of Fame online, it's easier. I will now go to pitching. Now this is something that I really had to learn if I wanted to. I'll go with E-Rod. If you really want to be successful in ranked seasons, everybody's going to be able to hit the ball, but can you pitch? So my pitching options, I'm going to put it on Legend. Learn Pure Analog. Pure Analog is the least random. Like, I know I used to use meter, which is all well and good. That's probably the second most accurate. But when you actually learn Pure Analog, you'll realize that you have almost no control over meter. You've got to be perfect everywhere. So when I'm pitching, I'm always trying to look to hit the corners. One of my favorite pitches is the down and in. He doesn't have a slider, but the slider is one of my favorite pitches to throw. And if you learn to hit the corners, you're going to be very hard to hit. And it's okay to be wild. Even you want to be wild, because if they know I'm just gonna throw a strike every time, they can swing every single time. So I'm always trying to be perfect on the little line at the bottom there, but where I put my upswing is going to determine how far the ball moves. So if I'm gonna try to have this cutter go off the plate, so I'm gonna go straight down and I want to go straight back up, and it's gonna cut off the plate. You'll have more control over your pitches, and strategy starts to come into play as if you were actually facing a real hitter. Alright, so my last tip here is a pretty simple one. Find a team that you like. All of these guys in my lineup, this is how I got to World Series. And realize that you're going to face some guys that have put a ton of money into this game. That doesn't mean you can't beat them. That doesn't mean you're not better than them. And one of the things that bugs me the most is when somebody sees my team and they immediately go to the friendly quit. Just play the game. Most of the time when they try to friendly quit, they're going to end up beating me. Like, it's all a mental thing, and don't be afraid to be different. Because as you get higher up, you're going to see the 99 Mickey Mantle, you're going to see 99 Gary Sheffield, you're going to see all the collection rewards, but you don't need those. The moment I beat one of those guys that had everybody, that's when I realized I could do it. So, finally, make your lineup as varied as possible. Right-handed, left-handed, right-handed, left-handed. Put some switch hitters in there, too, if you want. I mean, like, I have Ozzie Albies down there for me. I have Merrifield just because he can play anywhere. Buxton for some speed and some outfield help. When it gets late in the game, I can take out Soto. And if you come upon a lefty against someone like Soto, don't be afraid to hit with Soto. Don't just pull the trigger, take him out, and put in a pinch hitter. Because I found that some of my best success for Soto has come against lefties. Just don't be afraid to play against the best players in the game, because it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best physical player in the game. They might have the best cards, but they're not the best player. Don't be afraid. Go at people, and let's get to World Series. Thanks, everyone.